You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
And we're back at a good evening outdoors. I'm Rodney Rogers. My partner, co-chief in crime, the man himself, Michael the Man Coy.
It's good to see you, Rodney.
It's good to see you, Mike Coy. Another week down. Episode number 54.
54. It's the blistering cold of January out there.
We got a wind chill factor out there of about 84 right now. Feels like 89. We got the old feels like factor out there. You know
exactly.
That.
Yeah.
Feels like 21. Looks like
about
67. Yeah.
80% humidity.
It has been crazy. My hair has gone crazy with this humidity.
You know, it's the second week of January, and you totally forget that Christmas was just not even a month ago.
Oh, I know.
New Year's was 2 weeks ago.
I think we had 5 days of cool weather.
It's just gone, and it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God that part's
lots
gone.
of rain. I mean, you were talking to some people in New York, and
yeah, and it's like 20 and 21, and whoo, I can't do it.
That's
I just
great.
can't do it. I can go visit some weather like that in an airplane at 33,000 feet.
Yeah.
Just look at the snow. I remember one of the first times I seen just real thick snow. I went to Colorado hunting.
Elk hunting.
So we're coming in for a landing, and we're coming in through the clouds. And as we're coming down, the pilot says, hey, we're getting ready for the approach. And as we're coming down, I look out the window and it's all white. And I'm thinking, okay, we're still in the clouds. No, sir. We're 100 feet off the ground.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And the white that I was seeing was just snow. And when we hit, I thought the plane blew up. I didn't know we were landing.
Yeah.
I thought we were still in the clouds.
That's wild.
It was definitely freaky.
It's been a busy week. We should probably just get right into it. There's a lot going on.
Let's just chew down. Your weekend, I don't know how it was.
Let's talk about your weekend.
My weekend was actually awesome. What we did was it was partially awesome. We did the chili cook-off this weekend, the Crime Line Chili Cook-Off. Now, what that is they sell tickets for $5 a piece. You compete in this chili cook-off. We had 38 competitors.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's we paid for a booth. We had our booth going, and so we did very well. Actually, we placed number 3rd, honorable mention, People's Choice. We made venison chili, and we placed 3rd, People's Choice, which was really, really
How
awesome.
was the chili? Was it all right?
It was. I tell you, Mike, it was the best chili I've ever done. I mean, dude, we really went all out. I roasted peppers in the ovens. I roasted our tomatoes. I hand cleaned them. I made sure we had that smoky roast flavor in all of our bell peppers, and
that'll do it.
Yeah, we used like 3 different kind of the reds, the yellows, and the greens, and just really had amazing flavor in our chili this year. It was
good turnout, great weather,
beautiful weather.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, it warmed up to about 67 degrees. Sun was shining. I mean,
perfect for an event.
Yeah, you couldn't. They raised. I forgot the money they raised. They had over 3,000 people there show up this year. They expected 2,000. They had over 3,000 people show up.
Good. So success.
Total success. Absolutely amazing.
Now the chilies you had, who won?
Dirty Jim won.
Dirty Jim won.
Yeah, with Real Radio 104.1,
Okay.
one of our favorite guys.
And he's a chef of chefs.
He really is a chef of chefs. He don't like to consider himself a chef, but the fact is he's
You've got the uniform, you're a chef.
Yeah.
So what did he make? What was his chili?
Basically he just made a regular, a beef chili.
Good old chili.
Just good chili. I mean, he smoked the meat. I mean, he just really went on.
You know what? If you can cook, that's not a bad way to go.
That's second year in a row. At 38 competitors, that's
wow.
That's saying a lot,
Now, were there others? What were some of the other? Were there other more peculiar chilies?
Yes. Now, one of my favorites was Russ Rollins. Actually, made what was called chocolate mousse chili. He went in for the most unique chili, and he made what was called a chocolate mousse. And basically, he used a mousse, and he made this huge 10 gallons of chili, and he actually added chocolate to it. And I'll tell you what.
That's interesting.
I was totally surprised. I was absolutely surprised, and it was fantastic. he left, and this is what I wanted to do. He had the right idea. I wanted to leave some of the meat in just real nice tender chunks.
Right.
And I think I didn't get to taste Dirty Jim's chili. But I really think that Russ had for my taste, I thought he had a winner there because it was different. The flavor hit your palate. Very awesome. I mean, it was just a very good, I guess thinking about it is more a stew. I mean,
yeah, with the bigger chunks of whatever in it. Yeah.
And I don't know how judges judge, but I'll tell you what, it was,
woo. Obviously they judged pretty well in his favor then.
Yeah. So he won most unique for the chocolate mousse chili. Nice little wooden spoon. One year we're going to get that wooden spoon, Mike.
That would be nice. We'll frame it, and
we're going to get that wooden spoon. But there were some other good chilies there. I mean, a white chicken chili is what that they have a policeman, because it is for crime line. There's some policemen there. Osceola County took it with a white chicken chili, or Volusia County.
Okay.
So it was really awesome. Just a great day, man.
Cool.
Great day. We met a lot of fans out there. If you're listening tonight, hello. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. We got a lot of pictures with a lot of great people. So just a fantastic day.
Good.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it. We had other things going on, and if that wasn't the case, there's no place I would have rather been, because last year was a blast.
Yeah, we missed you.
But you know what? It was. I've never been to a chili cook-off. And I know that last year was the first time I had to go out and be able to go out and hang out with you. It was more fun than I even anticipated.
Real? Okay, good.
And I got to admit, most times I'm with you, Rodney, are more fun than I anticipate.
Well, I'm not sure how to take that one.
They're usually a lot more exciting. No, but actually it was a lot of fun. My wife was out there, and we just had a blast going around sampling the different chilies and trying. Awesome. I mean, it was really, really fun.
Last year was a great year.
Yeah, it was good.
I gotta admit, it was a great year. You took a lot of great pictures. I didn't get those pictures this year. I was a little sore, but it was definitely.
You were sore?
Yeah, I
What happened, Tony?
Let me tell you about the second part of my weekend. The second part of my weekend, Friday night, when we got done cooking the chili, and it was literally 1:30 in the morning, 1:45, and my daughter's out in the parking lot.
Because I can't think of something better when I'm done cooking chili and it's 1 in the morning and it's late.
You got to wind down, Mike,
What I'd rather do.
So we had some, Steve came over and brought some of his fancy beers. Now, if Steve brings over fancy beers, there's a pretty good chance.
The party's just getting started.
The party's just getting started. So we had some of these fancy beers, and my daughter was having the dogs. We got some big dogs. Cousin had his big bulldog out there, and of course we got Drake. Pull them around on this longboard, and I said, "Hey, bring that longboard over here and give me that dog."
This is basically a long skateboard, right?
It's a long skateboard.
Okay.
Yeah, very deceiving, So the dog takes off, I don't know, at about 77 miles an hour. Now, at one point, I reached 88. All I needed was 0.8 to reach the 1 gigawatts of power I needed to go back in time and tell my dumb ass to get off that board.
So close. So close.
Well, as I was going, there's these 2 speed bumps in the road, and I thought, well, let me go in between them, because there was like a little valley there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Some quick thinking.
But there was a drain. Yeah. And I said, okay, I got 2 choices. I can't jump off because the dog's already doing 88 miles an hour. I can't run that fast from a dead stop. Maybe I can take that speed bump like a champ. And I looked really good for a moment till I hit that speed bump, and I landed on the other side. And then that skateboard made my feet go about 6 feet high. And when I slammed on that pavement, Mike, I hit pretty hard.
Wow. The pavement's hard stuff.
Yeah, it was rough stuff.
It gets harder as we get older.
Operative word.
Wow.
At 46 years old, I slammed down. And what had happened is I actually bruised a kidney. There's a name for it, flexin oblongatus or something. I don't know what they call it.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So I was in for CAT scans all day to make sure I was going to pull through to Monday. So, a little word of advice. Be sure of your path,
Chili cook-offs and longboarding and
don't mix.
Emergency rooms where
equals.
Well, ironically enough, after talking through this evening, I actually realized you actually did have a third option.
What was my third option? Not do it.
You could have let go of
The dog.
the dog.
Yes, and I probably should have did that. That should have been, and that's what we're going to get into tonight, Mike. That's going to lead us to our topic tonight.
What are we talking about tonight?
We're going to be talking about
give me a teaser.
survival and making quick decisions and all that good stuff. So we're definitely going to chew into that.
Good.
And we're going to use up every minute of tonight on it, I'm telling you. But that was definitely, overall, was a great weekend. I'm getting the soreness out of me. I can bend over and tie my shoes now, which is, believe it or not, it's not all. I mean, sometimes
we take that for granted. That
you
whole
took the
shoe
words
tying thing.
out of my mouth.
The older we get and the more mid-range we get around the belly area, tying the shoe thing is a pretty good accomplishment for me in the morning.
Yes, it is. So, but yeah, it was actually definitely pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So that was our weekend, man. That's how we fired up that and we got it started and here we are.
Cool.
We're back having. How about you? I mean, did you do anything exciting? You just kind of relaxed, kind of sat down and.
You know what? Actually turned into a kind of a work weekend for me.
Okay.
It was busy.
Okay. Right.
Employment kind of work.
I got you.
So
you didn't get to play outside.
No.
With the rest of us.
No.
Well,
I did not. However, my wife.
Yes.
Been unbeknownst to me. Called you up to go on a shopping spree. I had mentioned, I don't know, 3 months ago on the show, that one thing I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we got plenty of viewers tonight. So if my dad's watching, this is a spoiler alert. But I had mentioned that one thing I really want to do is I was asking you about just basic fishing poles because up until this point, yesterday,
right,
I didn't own a fishing pole.
No,
it's been a while. I mean, when I was a kid, we owned them. I've been fishing other people. I go fishing with other people, but I didn't own a fishing pole. And I mentioned 3 or 4 months ago that I would like to get a fishing pole so my dad and I can go fishing.
Exactly. We had that conversation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so my wife tucks this kind of information back in her brain. She's good like that.
She is awesome.
And she wanted to kind of do this as a surprise for me. So she called you up to, you guys went out on a shopping spree at Bass Pro Shop.
Yep. She actually texted me last week and says, hey, well, you got some time for next week. And she starts telling me, and then I start remembering the story. And I said, I'll tell you what, you tell me when you're ready because I can go to the Bass Pro Shop anytime. I am always up for a trip to the pro shop.
Yeah.
So she texted me yesterday, or was it yesterday or day before yesterday? Monday. I said, hey, I can be at the Bass Pro Shop in 30 minutes. My GPS tells me I could be there in 30 minutes. I said, well, mine does too.
That's cool. So you guys went.
So we went. And we got you.
So Dad, if you're watching.
Voila. Surprise.
We've got fishing poles. So if you'll hold that for me, Rodney.
I'll do it. She
actually got me 2 big ones and we got 2 small ones too. So I think this is the portable one.
I will break it down for you, Mike. That's actually the same pole. It's just 2 pieces.
We bought, but that's why she got a discount on them.
They're broke in the middle.
Here, you want one of those?
This is called a 2-piece rod. And this, I figured we'd get you a 2-piece.
We're going to do some damage tonight. This room's not big enough for a fishing pole.
We're going to knock stuff off the shelves. I picked out a Browning rod and a Browning reel, which is a very good reel. This is on a scale of 1 to 10. I would put this right around a 7.
So it's a decent reel.
It's a great reel. It's actually
I've never owned one like this, and this is open face sandwich.
This is called an open face reel. So your wife had asked me, well, do you think Mike knows how to use it? I said, Kim, he's been with me for 7 years and watched me fish. He better know how to use this thing. So I am going to, what I'll do is, and actually this will be for you and for our viewers.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to spend a little time. We're going to be shooting some videos.
Okay. That's cool, Rodney.
So you will know the ins and outs of this thing and you'll always have it on your phone.
That's fantastic. Can you misfire these things?
What's that now?
What?
No, you can't fire them.
Can you misfire them?
No, you can't misfire them. That's the beauty about it. And we'll show you how to string it. We're gonna string it from square one. We'll tell you what this little button on the bottom is for. It's called a bait runner.
She said you had them put the string on these?
I had them
the
put
store.
10-pound trilene,
Okay.
which big game, which green, which is what I use to catch my largemouth bass to date.
Really?
13 pounds, 6 ounces. It's the same fishing. You have monofilament on. We were gonna do braided.
This looks fancy.
But then they gave us, well, you got to go overdo it. And I said, look, just put, this on, and it was free. So they hooked us for free. So in the bag, have you even looked in the bag yet?
I know there's stuff in here, but I've not opened the stuff out of the bag.
Really? Okay, cool.
But I know we got 2 tackle boxes.
She said
it's important. She wanted to make sure my dad had his own tackle box.
Absolutely. So we got whatever you got, he has.
Sorry to bore you folks, but this is really exciting.
This is pretty cool stuff. This is Mike's first gear. I got you what's called the Plano. It's a stowaway box, and these work in just about every tackle box out there.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
so
those
will go inside the
eventually,
other ones.
as you build your gear, you can slide these right in just about 80% of the tackle boxes available today.
Yeah, my mom always told me I couldn't have my own fishing rod until I turned 50. So I'm 50 now.
Ta-da! Look at here, Mom.
I got a booyah.
Yeah, booyah spinner baits, and you know what? It's going to be great to go over these.
Now, is this just a random, or we get
Nope.
2 of each one? Or
Yeah, you pretty much got 2,
Okay.
pretty much 2 of each one. It's some, I got you a couple different colors of spinner baits and such. You got chartreuse, you got white, so you're gonna be able to mix them up.
Yeah, we could make 10 different podcasts out of what's in this bag.
The baits that I chose for you are actually the baits of which someone would choose for their first time fishing that are very simple. These are what I call tie and throws. Basically, you tie it on your line and you throw it out there and fish with it. These are simple. They are absolutely some of the world's best baits as far as that goes. Very simple. There's no tuning. There's no terminal tackle. You don't need a hook, a sinker. It's all in one.
Well, can I ask you one favor when you do this video?
Absolutely.
Even make a total separate one.
Mm-hmm.
And show me how to tie this thing.
Absolutely.
Onto the end of that string, because obviously I see I just got to,
You got it. Well,
I'm sure there's a right way to do this, but I got crappie spin, beetle spin, Johnson beetle spin.
You're gonna love that beetle spin, man. You're gonna be hooked on that like I was.
I got a bleeding bait spinner bait Strike King.
Is that the double blade?
I don't know. How do I know?
Okay. Yep. You have a Colorado blade and a willow blade, so that's your double blade.
Okay, that's all one piece.
That's all one piece.
That's dangerous. More of a crappie spin. That's going to end up in the back of my head.
And then as you dig to the bottom, you're going to see what I consider.
I know which one you're talking about.
We've
done a podcast on this.
We've done many podcasts on this.
The original floating Rapala.
Is that the
F11?
F11.
That's the
guy.
That's the go-to, isn't it?
That's our go-to. It's been our go-to since day one, since we started this whole operation.
I'm excited.
So there you have it, man.
Shopping.
I'm glad you're excited.
I'm very excited.
That's to me, that's hands down. I would put that in any survival kit that I would have ever.
Yeah, I'm always behind the camera, and obviously I enjoy the production end of it. But I've got that. Every time I'm with you, I get that bug, and I just thought it'd be nice for a father-son to go out and.
That'd be awesome.
And you've been to he lives. There's a little pond right behind his house. I'm assuming there's fish in there. At least we're gonna find out.
Absolutely gotta be. Absolutely gotta be. And you got the right reel to throw those light baits.
Really?
Yeah, that beetle spin, that reel is gonna be perfect for it. You're really gonna enjoy it, man. I can't wait to see the post of your first fish.
I will.
I know it.
I will. But I need a video on how to tie a.
We'll get you that video.
A dilly dally onto my doohoo.
One dilly dally tying coming up. So yeah, man. Actually, it was exciting. Anytime I buy or I shop for fishing gear for you or anybody for the first time, it's just, to me, it's a great thing, man.
That's cool. I can just see you guys going through the aisles of Bass Pro Shop, and
you know what? I can get crazy. I mean, especially for beginners, it can. You got to remember, this stuff adds up quick.
Sure, yeah.
So and we've done a video on trying to keep this under $50, and it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah,
and so my mind is just going crazy with great baits, and actually we didn't do bad at all. I mean, we did really good for what you got. And I mean, it's just,
Well, I mean, because what was it? You guys spent just a little over $200,
right?
So about $100 a
$100
person
a piece.
You know,
you got a phenomenal pole I mean, that pole will last years.
That's great.
I mean, I've got one of these still in my garage. It's probably going on 22 years old. So, I mean, it's a great rod. It's a great reel.
Now, just a question for you generically, not to drag it out any further, but this is, like bass, inland, freshwater.
That's why we went that route.
Okay.
We can tie on leaders. We can catch snook on that. We can catch redfish.
Okay.
We can catch trout. So I got it in mind that eventually you're going to be with me fishing, and we're going to just day with no cameras, and we're going to be out there fishing. You know, if we go for anything much bigger, then of course, I've got all the gear. But this will do anything that you and I will do together.
Fun.
Short of pulling in some giant fish.
Cool.
So,
all right, let's talk current events. Are there current events?
You know what? There was one I was going to talk about. I was going to lead in tonight, and you know what? I did not write it down, and it absolutely. But there were several of them to this point. Do you have any offhand that you want to talk about?
Nope.
Okay. Basically, what we're getting is kind of what brought me up to the topic that we have tonight. Is people in the outdoors driving down the road, sliding off the road, and falling and going into lakes, roadside ponds in Florida. Excuse me.
Wow.
And
I snuck up on you there.
Yeah, I don't know about up north. I know there's not a lot of water in a lot of places. Like here, down here, almost every turn you have is a pond. They just pulled out another family of a car sunk in the water, and all of them had drowned. And it was just a sad state of affairs, So it basically, as far as that kind of current event, that kind of sparked me to talk about our topic tonight, which is survival.
Okay.
That's going to lead us to our topic. Let me pop this right here.
Well, tell you what, maybe now is a good time when we get reassociated and get into our topic. Let's give our sponsors a chance to
Let's do it.
Have a void or two with us.
Gnarly barley, come see why the whole world's singing.
What are you doing?
Dude, I am writing a song for Gnarly Barley.
I see that, but first of all, I didn't realize you could sing. Second of all, why don't you just tell the people how great the Gnarly Barley is, give them the address, and move on with the show?
Dude, have you ever had their flatbread? Their jalapeno flatbread with the cream cheese on top and the chicken and the special sauce on it? Holy moly. No, wait a minute. Obviously, by the look on your face, you ain't never had that big time Fiesta. Jalapenos, provolone cheese, tomatoes, red onions, and again, Fiesta lime.
Okay,
right?
That's it. Shut up. We're out of here.
Are you serious?
Come on, we're out of here.
Truly one of Orlando's hidden gems, the Gnarly Barley offers a contemporary selection of bites and brews, serving a mind-blowing selection of craft beers and original mouth-watering menu creations. The Gnarly Barley and its incredibly accommodating staff have created a place that really is difficult to put into words. So do yourself a huge favor and come see why people are singing the praises of the Gnarly Barley.
Oh my goodness.
I told you that big time Fiesta.
That is phenomenal. I totally get why you're trying to write a song for that.
Not as simple as you thought, huh?
No. Okay, check this out. All right. Gnarly Barley, come see why the whole town's singing Gnarly Barley. Bites and brews.
Located at 7431 South Orange Avenue in Orlando, Florida.
116,000 foreclosures in the state of Florida alone as of January 2014, a quality contractor is critical to the process of returning a foreclosed house back into a home. Let me introduce you to Phillips Contracting Incorporated. They are Florida State certified and an approved REO repair vendor for both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. PCI currently provides multi-level services to realtors, banks, asset managers, and private homeowners. Although they specialize in dealing with REO property repairs, they are a design-build company.
Here at PCI, we pride ourselves on professional, high-quality work. Our clients know that we're not your typical contractor. We're proud to be reliable, trustworthy partners with you. Our repair coordinators are ready to communicate with you honestly and quickly about every aspect of your project. We're here to say yes to our clients.
Phillips Contracting services Florida from Orlando to Miami. Whether you're looking for a quote, repair updates, or just want to talk business, give them a call at 941-483-3800.
Welcome back. You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. Find us on rodneyrogersoutdoors.com. Check us out. Click on live.
Check it out.
So before we went to commercial break, we're talking about survival, and what brought it up. There's a couple of things that brought it up. Is in Florida, we have water everywhere. If you're in the outdoor, you're going to come into the encounter of something, And I know, Mike, if I asked you a question of what is survival to you, what would you process as survival?
Well, for me, because being a pilot, I associate that to going down somewhere, further away from help.
Okay.
In the mountains, or just a
That's
vast line, going down somewhere you have no idea where you're at, and having to survive really, until you find help.
Until you find something.
Yeah.
And you kind of made my point. Actually, I forgot you were a pilot. I mean, I didn't forget, but I mean, for tonight,
yeah,
that's my point. Survival means something different to everybody.
It's a really good point.
I mean, you can look up all the survival guides of how to survive, and they're going to give you a general synopsis of how to survive. And it's always in the outdoors. But there are other times when you need the survival. It may be in your house. It may be in your car. It may be on your way home from school. It may be, walking the dog. You don't know. Survival can mean many things to different people, and it's adapted to our environment. Now, this is not something I'm reading. This is just the way it is. I mean, I had a heart attack driving down the road, so I had to kick in survival mode. I had to figure out that I'm 8 blocks from a hospital. I had to process that there are also 8 red lights. I can't run these red lights even though I'm having a heart attack, because if I slam into somebody, now they have to figure out what's wrong with me and why I ran the red light, and then I could die waiting on this. You know what I mean? So I made the best decision I could and did the things I did, and it saved my life. You have to plan on survival every minute of every single day.
Well, that's a good point and good place to start. Is survival is probably never planned.
That's exactly right. And you know what the worst case scenario is? I mean, as far as a survival situation, you know what the worst case is? The absolute positively worst case? The one you didn't prepare for.
Right.
That's just that simple. You know what I mean? The very problem that you didn't prepare for, the situation you did not prepare for, is going to be your worst case scenario. Because, I know when you talk survival, most people think doomsday. When doomsday comes. Well, to me, I was having a heart attack. That's as doomsday as they can get. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put it in a perspective of what our survival mode is. For you, it's that airplane going down. When we get out, are we in the swamps? Are we in the hills? Are we in the mountains with snow? Where are we? Are we at elevation and we can barely breathe?
Yeah, 30 miles offshore and your boat stopped. Yeah.
So survival can be anything. One of the things I wanted to point out is the fact that I'm not going to throw a bunch of statistics. I just want to throw this one at you. If you had to guess, let's just use children in cars, and we're not talking about heat this time. Because in Florida, I mean, in the United States, parents leave children in cars, and the heat, will do bad things. But think hypothermia.
Okay.
Just think for a minute of hypothermia in a car. If you had to put, let's say you had to put Florida on a list of all 50 states, where would you put it? As far as if children dying of hypothermia, what would you say the number one state would be? Just
Chicago, Illinois,
okay.
Chicago, the state of Chicago.
Let's go. Arkansas would be the number one state per capita. And what they're doing is they're doing a population. It's per 1 million people.
Okay.
We're number 5 on the list, Mike.
Really?
The state of Florida. More people have died of hypothermia in the back of a car in the state of Florida than Alaska. Alaska's 47. As a matter of fact, Alaska is so low on the list, it just doesn't happen. Do you know why?
Because they're prepared.
They're prepared.
They're expecting it.
They're expecting this cold. They know that they can be trapped in a snowbank. Their cars, I bet in just about all the cars, have some kind of thermal,
Sure.
some kind of gear to be prepared for
Even a
this.
blanket.
A blanket.
Yeah. I lived up north. We always had a blanket in the car.
Exactly. So those are the things that, in a survival mode that we need to prepare for.
Sure.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about tonight. I talk about these cars going off the road and going in the water, and these people drown. And when they ascertain that they drown, they understand that they were not dead when they hit the water.
It was an impact.
Exactly. So chances are they were not probably, but they were alive in that car. Did they have a plan? Who knows? The first thing to survival, the first piece of planning is do not panic. That is the absolute most vital information you can ever have, is do not panic. Even if you don't have a plan, your first piece of your plan right now is do not panic. So with that alone, that puts more weapons in your survival bag than any tool
and
you can possibly get.
An interesting to put it in perspective of the outdoors, because any outdoorsman is probably always potentially in a maybe more risky environment or a potential situation to run into the unexpected. Navigation, you're out deer hunting and you lose, sun goes down, you lose your way, you're disoriented. Perfect time for panic.
And you'd be surprised. I bet if we took a poll, if we went to a hunting preserve and a hunting management area, a hunting management area, and we told the amount of people that coming out of the woods that if they had a compass, a first aid kit, all the necessary survival, I would fair to say 70% were unprepared. They went out with their gun, their camouflage, and their tree stand, and that is it. Some of them wouldn't even have a knife. Some of them wouldn't have a flashlight. You'd be surprised on the essential gear that they would not have. I've seen it a million times.
Well, and because they're not expecting anything to go wrong, they've been there before. It's familiar territory.
That is exactly right. And it's our wives walking out the door. It's our children walking to school. It's our sons and daughters just driving to work. I mean, you have to kind of put in your mind that every day could be a possible survival situation. I know survival, we picture survival as an extreme. I'm going to grocery store. What could possibly go wrong? Poof. These kids were going to Disney World. On the way to Disney World, they run off the road. Something happened. They ran off and they ran in a ditch. So what would you need in that situation? Well, you'd have to prepare your mind first. You know what I mean? You need something to break that window. So you don't need a tool to break the window that floats around in the car and bounces around when it slashes, because you're not going to be able to find it. You need a tool that is strapped to something, tied to something, so it's in that same spot every single day. As a pilot, you do what is called check flights. Is that what it is? Or some type of scenario if you lose an engine.
Oh, sure.
Or I mean, what's that? Is there a name for it?
Well, you practice emergency procedures continually.
Yeah. It is beat in your brain. So when it goes wrong, you subconsciously, you don't even realize you're doing it. Manny, my good friend Manny, he flies with Southwest. He's flown for years, almost 20 years, and he finally loses an engine. And I go, holy man, were you scared? He goes, nope. Didn't think twice about it. Routine, flip this off, put that on, call emergency landing, did a U-turn, spun around. Never even, now to me, losing an engine in an airplane is a pretty serious business. Yeah. That's a call for an alarm.
They plan for that and they train for that. And we've talked about this before. Even simple things like, everybody drives a car.
Everybody.
How much emergency training do you get learning how to drive a car? I mean, flat tire, what happens?
Absolutely.
You may read about it, but how much time? I remember when I was in high school, we practiced something simple as what they called a two-wheel drop-off.
Really?
Where the edge of the road had a little embankment to it. And if, rather than, a lot of people tend to just yank themselves right back on and potentially,
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. And so that's the one thing I remember in driver's training, actually practicing some sort of emergency procedure. But my wife says, you know, on the highway, somebody pulls out in front of her, her reaction's she's going to overreact because there's no training for that.
There's none.
You don't even know how you're going to react.
That's exactly
in
right.
that circumstance.
That's exactly right. And
you've never been there before. And that's with Manny in training. They'd been there hundreds of times before.
Hundreds
for training for that. So
and even if you don't, for me, and the reason why I survived my heart attack, because in my mind, I have gone through several scenarios. And I'm driving down the road, I may be listening to music, but I literally go through some weird scenarios in my head. I have seen so many car accidents where people actually died. And I've helped in so many. It's honestly, my cousin used to call me a crash magnet because I've just been part of so many and being able to help that I eventually learned to keep rubber gloves, gauze. I built a first aid kit. You know, in my truck, I've got a first aid kit that would stop some major issues.
Well, if you don't mind, next time we'll drive separately. if that's fine with you.
Fortunately, you know, it's been a while since I've seen anything like that. But, you know, even for myself, you know, I keep a basic kit in my truck. I'm at my cousin's house, kid riding a bicycle, gravel flips over and gouges a rock into his head, spewing blood. Everybody's freaking out. I go to my truck. We gauze him up. We stop the bleeding, pressure, pow. He's to the hospital. And they you know, they didn't take him because they thought he had seen a paramedic already because I'd had everything done. So they didn't take him right away because they assumed he had already seen a paramedic. And when in fact, it was just so in your arsenal, first we talk about not panicking. That's first. Now there is no certain category. This is just my way of thinking. Now you're going to find your way, and someone out there who's listening is going to find their way.
Well, it certainly makes sense. I mean, that seems like at the time, you're not going to think about that.
Exactly.
But it's logical because once you panic,
it's over.
You're done.
You're lost. You've lost. It's hard to get out of panic mode once you're in. I mean, it's almost impossible. Not many people pull out of that. So you're already in the situation. Wishing yourself out is not going to happen. So you have to calm down, not panic, and get yourself out of the situation. Think of the best possible scenario. And I always tell my children, and they can swear to it to this day, there's two choices, and you've heard it a million times. You can be proactive or reactive. And I always say if you're not proactive, you need to react as quick as possible, even if it's wrong. You cannot sit there and not understand what is happening. You have to make decisions quickly, even if they're wrong. Sitting there and doing nothing has left you in that situation, and it's going to be really bad.
Can we put some practical applications in here?
As far as I'll go back to my proactive, reactive, meaning my heart attack. I mean,
let's do something outdoors.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's go outdoors. Now, in outdoors, and I tell all the friends that I hunt with, there's 2 or 3 things that's going to happen that's going to be the worst. Lacerations, because you're dealing with a knife, you're dealing with razor sharp arrows, you're dealing with, you know, those kind of things. Firearms, gunshot wounds, and broken bones. You're going to fall out of a tree. I mean, anything could happen as far as that. So you need to, let's just take, for example, an arrow. Well, first of all, you're not going to shoot yourself with an arrow because you can't get it behind you, but your arrow can explode and go right through your hand. I've seen it happen. There's tons of pictures on a website. So now you have an arrow through your hand. The best thing to do is have your gauze with you, your first aid kit with you, and wrap that arrow up while it's still in your hand. Do not pull that arrow out.
Well, let's do this. Let me give you a scenario.
Okay, give me a scenario.
You and I are out bow hunting. And I don't mean this comically because things happen.
Yes.
Let's say I shoot you.
Okay.
I shoot the person who's leading this campaign.
Okay.
And has the wits, the outdoor wits about him to make the decision. I don't seriously injure you, but I incapacitate you. Is that the right word?
Incapacitate. Yeah, so, absolutely.
So you're down for the count as far as leading this pack now. And I've got to start doing some thinking.
You got to start thinking. Okay. First, we got to ascertain where our arrow went in. You know, is it, you know, are there arteries in? Do you see a lot of blood loss? Do you see the body swelling? I mean, there's things you have to look for. So you need to know, especially if you're in the outdoors, you need to know your basic first aid, what to look for. If you're going to hunt and you're going to hunt with somebody, as I would always recommend you do, you need to recognize the signs. Do you have swelling? What's going on? If there's swelling, then that means you hit an artery. You're bleeding on the inside. You never pull that arrow out. That arrow just opens up exactly what's going on. If it's hit an artery, now you need to ascertain where those arteries are in your body. If it's your hip, you need to push on your hips. There's ways to do this. Hopefully we have a phone with signal. So,
well, I would think, because I would think the logical steps in my mind, again, first of all, not panic, because otherwise logic is out the window and all these things. So I'm first of all going to go, number one, my first decision is find help or help you.
Right.
And that's the quickly assessing your status. Are you bleeding to death? I mean, you're going to be, if I leave for 5 minutes, are you going to be gone when I get back?
Have you ever seen a paramedic perform brain surgery out in the field?
No.
His job is to sustain you until you get to the proper medical attention.
Right.
And that's what you have to do in a hunting or an outdoor situation. If it's a broken bone, whatever the case may be, you have to sustain. You can't just run away. That's not an option. Hey, I'll be back. I'm going to get help. No, we have to apply enough first aid to sustain. If it's pressure to a wound, if it's even with a gunshot, it could be pressure to a wound. Shoulder blades. I mean, you need to know where these arteries are for pressure points. So you have to not panic, assess the situation, look at it. What can I do now? And then go for help. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that, I mean, it's not only outdoors. I mean, we're in Florida. We're hurricane central. I mean, we got, Hurricane Katrina was a prime example. You had, 2,000, whatever the number is in the dome. And they were actually just sitting there. Are we getting a call? Is that coming through the computer?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't work here.
Is that?
No.
Okay.
I think
that's Kansas. You sure that's not a
call back? Is that our buddy Ryan?
It might be Ryan.
Ryan, I fell asleep at the switchboard. If that's you, man, call back. I didn't hear it coming through. But
I don't know where it was ringing from. Ryan, if you're listening, give us a call. So, where was I?
I don't know. I think it's my mom calling on your phone.
So, I mean, now we're talking about we're talking about hurricanes. Once hurricanes come, the thing is you got to ascertain in a survival situation. Are you going to wait for help? Or are you going to help yourself until help arrives?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could be, even help may not be available. Everyone may be in a pickle.
Yeah.
Prime example was Hurricane Katrina. They just couldn't get help to them fast enough. There's just so many people. So it's important to be able to help yourself. In my house, I am ready for, let's just say worst case scenario, some kind of collapse. I really don't know what it is. I got a bag I can grab. I can eat out of for 5 days. I have flashlights. I have tons of extra batteries that I check on every couple of years to make sure my batteries are still in date. They last up to 5 years, some of 8, and I switch them out. I've got blankets. I've got 5 MREs. My MREs are basically 5 days. And I can probably sustain 2 people for 3 days.
MRE.
Meals ready to eat.
Got it.
That's what the military uses. Now, there are special MREs that are for civilians. You can buy them online. Many survival sites have them. So basically, I can grab this bag, leave everything behind, and get out of Dodge for 2 or 3 days. Because, if it's some kind of situation of let's just say that, some kind of government fail, or, I mean, that's where everybody crawls in a hole, and just that's worst case scenario. But that's just an average survival thing. Like if you had an attacker, if you had to picture an attacker, what would you picture? I mean, most people would picture a big guy coming out of the bushes and blah, blah, blah. Well, Florida, we have alligators. They're attackers. We have bears. How many bears attacks were last year?
Sure.
People just walking out putting their garbage out. That's an attacker. You know, a deer is an attacker. I can show you a
Mhm.
deer
Sure.
attack right now. Coyotes, you know, we have so many attackers that we don't expect.
That's an interesting point.
And as a hunter or a fisherman, there we go. Was that one? So much for muting that phone. I thought I muted it.
You read my mind.
I forgot.
To
Now it
follow our
rings on both
checklist.
sides.
Yeah. Follow our checklist.
Thank you for calling Rodney Rogers Outdoors. Who we talk to?
Hit him up again.
How
Hello.
about now? Can you hear me now?
Hey, can you hear me?
I got you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I got you. Ryan, how
Hey,
are
it's
you, buddy?
Ryan. Not too bad. Sorry to interrupt your conversation, but I just had something like a question like Mike was talking about. I had something to chime in on it about.
Well, absolutely, Ryan. That's awesome. We enjoy these moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, I do a lot of hunting with my boy. He's only 12 years old. And we go through those scenarios constantly to where if something would happen to me while hunting, what would he be able to do?
Exactly.
And of course, you know, he's got he's into the survival. He's getting all the Bear Grylls stuff and everything. And, you know, everything that you buy from Bear Grylls comes with like a little information packet on
Interesting.
how to make a tourniquet or how to do this or how to
Absolutely.
survive. And we've actually sat down and made a list that if I fall out of a tree, this is what you got to check for. If I get bit by a rattlesnake, this is what you got to do. And, you know, being 12, you know, yeah, we do have phones, but what if we're in a situation where we ain't got service or something like that? You know, he's kind of got a checklist if I can't communicate with him to tell him what to do.
Absolutely. Ryan, you hit it right on the head. I mean, and it could be as simple as falling out of the tree.
Yep.
And you're immediate.
Even though we wear our safety harnesses and all that stuff, you know, something could break or tear, or, you know, that's something I've never done with him is, you know, have him get his harness on and actually hanging from a tree with his harness on to see if he could get back up out of it and stuff, you know. But
now I want to specify.
You never know. That's what accidents are. They're accidents. You never know what's
that's
gonna
exactly
happen.
right, and they're very unpredictable. And when Ryan says he's going to hang his son from a harness out of a tree, let me explain that this is a chest harness and not around the neck. Yeah, we don't want to see Brody hanging from a tree. But
No.
you're exactly right. And if you don't know that feeling, and you know, because it's happened to me, the bottom of my tree stand fell out, and I'm hanging there by the top half of my tree stand and my harness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I've got to climb down 16 feet to get the bottom of my tree stand while I'm wearing a harness. And these are situations that you just, you know, because my rope broke that held the top to the bottom. I mean, it's just.
Hey, Ryan, I'm a huge Bear Grylls fan. Is that so? He gets stuff offline from Bear Grylls, and it's what kind of stuff are you guys getting?
I think we lost him.
Uh-oh. Call us back.
Yeah.
Really interesting. The
Yeah.
Bear Grylls thing inspires me to get outside and want to. I mean, I'm just fascinated by
Walmart
that.
sells a lot of Bear Grylls stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, he mentions them a lot on his.
Absolutely.
But
And he's right. I forgot. In each one, his knives, his, you know, packets, everything has
survival
uses,
tips and
survival
stuff.
tips. Absolutely. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it shows that when he goes to commercials, he does a little Walmart thing, but he's just a quick whatever about a knife or a quick survival tip. It's
Exactly.
like, wow, those little 30-second snippets are very powerful.
Absolutely.
I'm very curious to see what kind of stuff they're getting, but I think I love hearing that kind of stuff.
And I always tell people that I know we always think of survival again as these extreme situations for outdoor guys only, but I have what I call immediate survival gear. And what I mean by immediate survival is you walking from your front door to your car. Right out of your house, it's dark as it can be. You can't see anything. You're not home. Wife walks to the car. She can barely see the walkway, only by the porch light. So, excuse me, to me, the immediate survival gear would just be a simple flashlight. A flashlight. Because if anything is behind the car, or behind the tree, or behind a bush, you're shining a flashlight around. First of all, they go, uh-oh. They don't know that you can't see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what I call immediate survival gear. And it's usually just a real bright tactical flashlight. You can get them from $30 to $50. Mine.
But is that, I mean, I know it's flashlight survival gear, but is that, I think it's moshed together here as far as what's survival versus basic common sense, stay alert, keep yourself safe.
You ever seen anybody walk to the car with a flashlight?
No.
Ever. It's survival gear. It's a tactical light. It's got sharp points, sharp edges for hitting, punching. I mean, to me, it's just a piece, what I call, now this is just me. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's going to have their own idea of what they picture as survival gear. But in dark places, in bad places, I work nights. My flashlight's always in the back pocket. Always.
Yeah, I guess the point is, like Ryan said, an accident happen at any time, and an accident can put you in a survival situation immediately.
In the blink of an eye.
And I think what you're saying is, even walking to the car, there's 100 things that can happen in that 40 feet.
Yep.
That
taking out our garbage in a bear attack. And
the more and the more comfortable you are in that situation, the less prepared you're going to be for anything to happen.
That's exactly right.
I'm darting to the car in my skivvies and my slippers just to grab something out of the car because I'm comfortable. It's my home. I know that route. I've done it 1,000 times.
Nobody's allowed here.
Yeah. and I guess I'm just even trying to keep an outdoor semblance of that. I mean, people going hunting or fishing, and you go into the lake right down the street that you've been to 1,000 times with your kid.
Exactly.
That you're comfortable with. Again, accidents can happen in a heartbeat.
In a blink of an eye.
And you're in survival mode. You could be, like I say, you could be 2 blocks down the street at the end of the cul-de-sac. Something happens to dad, and you got a 4-year-old kid. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but a young child. It's survival mode. Even though he may see houses, the same process is going through his head.
This is a wilderness.
Yeah.
Anything outside is a wilderness.
And even if I fall down and my child, I mean, as the father, I may be conscious and have to still follow these same basic rules.
Absolutely.
Don't panic. I may have to think for my child if he's not thinking.
Yes,
but it's survival mode. I need him on my side and control the situation. And what are my options?
Yeah.
Am I mobile? Am I not mobile? Can he make it to the house?
Perfect. You hit it right on the head. And I know some of it can be taken to the extreme, and we could stay on this subject like many of our other subjects for a million years.
Yeah.
I mean, we could take it any direction.
But I think you bring up an interesting point, as there's probably a basic flow chart.
Absolutely. Be prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. I mean, it's a motto that goes without saying.
Do you consider yourself, how do I say this, to prepared? Are you prepared?
General preparation
to be unprepared? Because you're the type of guy, because of your quick thinking and your resourcefulness, I guess.
Right.
You may not need all the tools neatly lined up in your vehicle,
right,
to accomplish what somebody else might not be.
Exactly. I have enough.
That makes sense.
Yes, I have enough stuff in my truck that if I went into the water, I've got 100 items I can break a window out.
You could live for a year out of your truck.
I know. I mean, I would be resourceful enough to decide to break that window with just about anything in my truck.
Sure.
I mean, I don't need that window breaking tool, but someone who is not as resourceful may need that window breaking. They
make them for that reason.
They make them for that reason. They may not understand how easy that window really is to break.
Yeah.
I've done it. So it's really easy to break it. It can take the buckle off literally right off your seat.
Sure.
Smack it hard enough and it's done. I mean, it's designed to break.
But it's things like you say, your point we started off with tonight, Alaska has the least, percentage of hypothermia because they're used to that. They're prepared for that. When you're not prepared for it, when you're not expecting it,
when
you're not expecting your tree stand to fall out from underneath you.
Exactly.
You find yourself in an emergency situation.
When we're number 5 on the hypothermia death list in a car.
Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed that.
That's totally unprepared.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming when you said that. It's the prepreparation thing. But it gets cold here.
Absolutely.
But you don't think about that.
It's very deceiving. You only need less than your body temperature to die of hypothermia. Sure. A guy. Oh, the story, the top news I was going to bring up. Gosh, it just hit me. Man's 19 miles offshore, falls off his boat fishing. I know we're running out of time. Swims 19 miles back. He doesn't have his life preserver on. He's by himself, and he falls off his own boat in gear, and he has to swim back. Oh, 9 miles. I apologize. I'm thinking 19 miles. 9 miles.
Still pretty darn impressive.
Okay, a mile.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything outside of 100 yards, I'm feeding the fish.
Yeah, exactly.
So he falls off the boat by himself fishing, no life preserver, swims 9 miles back to shore. I mean, that is what made me whip in to survival mode. No EFIRB, nobody knows he's out there, and he swims back. I mean, wow. Pulls his pants off, ties them around his neck, fills them up like a life preserver. That is a simple, and we're going to make a video of this for sure, simple life-saving technique that probably saved his life that very day. His mind was prepared. He didn't panic. He says, this is what I'm going to do, and he swam to shore. I mean, little things like that, and especially for women. And I'm not trying to pick on women. I'm just, they're the most vulnerable to bad guys and elements and not being prepared. My daughter's,
sure,
she is prepared to a small degree, but she's still, it's the little things. A prime example, when you and I are hunting gators, you ever notice my knife has a lanyard on it?
Mm-hmm.
I always put my hand in that lanyard before I do anything with my knife. If that gator pulls me overboard, I'm not going to be without my knife. He may have me in a really bad predicament. I may roll around. I may flip around. I may lose a limb. But if that knife is still on that functional hand, then I can somewhat get out of a bad situation.
Yeah, I think you have up my first initial reaction to the subject was I want to keep it on the outdoors. We're an outdoors show. You're an outdoors guy.
Right.
But survival is survival.
Period.
Whether you're 20 miles offshore or you're in your home.
You're in your own home.
Because like you said, when you're having your heart attack, you're in survival mode.
That's doomsday.
It's doomsday as much as being in an avalanche on the side of a mountain.
Absolutely.
When your life is at stake. And the sad fact of the matter is there's people that lose their lives every day within their own homes because they fall. I mean, the joke got fallen, they can't get up. People get in survival modes within the comfort of their own homes.
Grease fires.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many simple things that we are absolutely not prepared for because we take, and that was my point of asking in the very beginning, what is survival to you?
Yeah.
Crashing an airplane. Well, 90% of the population is not going to be in an airplane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it means something different to everybody out there. So basically all I'm saying is back up, take a look at your surroundings and your situation, decide what survival is to you, your daily routine, and that stuff, and plan accordingly. Basically, if I'm going to get one message across, plan accordingly. Even have the minute, of materials, first aid kit first.
Yeah.
Everybody should have a first aid kit in their vehicle, period. That should be without saying. Everybody should have a first aid kit. In a car accident, blam, you're able to bandage before. Yeah. If you wait on someone to take care of you, you're losing precious time.
Yeah. You
take care of you, Mike Coy. I'll take care of me, and we'll take care of each other. Yeah. That's how it works. If we wait for help, we may die waiting. That's all. That's as strongest message as I could send tonight, just in a quick sentence. The worst case scenario you could possibly be in is the one you're not prepared for.
Yeah. And you don't have to be outdoors and doing, extreme activities or sportsman activities to find yourself in a survival situation.
We're number 5, people dying in the back of their car in hypothermia in the state of Florida.
Wow.
Can it get any scarier than that?
Yeah.
How easy is that to avoid?
Don't panic.
Number 5, 50 states. I know we're coming to the end, but that's what I wanted to say tonight. Like I said, we could take this on.
It's a good topic, man.
Absolutely.
But it's very sobering and good advice. I mean, take a step back, take a look.
Ryan,
you don't know when things
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry we lost you the way we did, Ryan.
Ryan, thank you for calling, buddy.
Anytime the phone's open for you.
Anytime, it's always, you're not ever interrupting our conversation. We always enjoy your call. I hope the family's well. Check us out on RodneyRogersOutdoors.com. We always have some kind of cool stuff on our website. I think so. Rodney Rogers on Facebook, Outdoors on Facebook. We have, what else do we have, Michael? Google Plus. We got YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. Lights are going out.
Didn't pay the bills.
There you have it. As my mom said 18 million times, and hopefully I'm able to say it at least that, you kids get outside and say,